Tau mai, haere mai, piki mai, kaki mai. Welcome into the AUT Millennium. This is the National Aquatic Centre on Auckland's North Shore as we get ready for international water polo. Yes, it is the battle of the Bledisloe in water polo terms. It is the might of New Zealand up against almighty Australia. Best of three, winner takes all. Winner gets a place at the Olympic Games in Paris next year. Looking forward to this one. Joining me in commentary, bringing all the expert analysis is Hamish McDonald. Hamish, Australia currently ranked 4 in the world, New Zealand ranked 11th. Very much, this is a tale of the big versus the small, David versus Goliath.
Yeah, good evening, Mark. Really good to be here. What an exciting opportunity for New Zealand to have a crack at the Australians in an Olympic qualifying series. A bit of a David and Goliath battle, but it'll be good fun.
So don't go away, folks. Coming up is now the formal proceedings before any major water polo international. We are set to go at 7:30. Very shortly, we'll have the national anthems and the team introductions. Well, very much David versus Goliath. An outstanding Australian team, fourth in the world, up against a New Zealand team that is gaining wonderful experience. But when you do run through that, you look at the likes of Bronte Halligan, arguably the best player in this Australian team. You go down the list, and there are a number of athletes who have famous fathers. The other big star in this team, Matilda Kearns, the daughter of the great Australian Wallaby captain, Phil Kearns.
Yeah, Mark, Matilda, great centre forward out of the USC, the University of Southern California. She had a massive role in their fourth place at the World Championships in Fukuoka, and will have a big part to play tonight.
And for New Zealand, well, they're going to need to get creative. They're going to need to try some stuff differently, because Australians have attackers right across the park. But look at Bernadette Doyle, very much driving things tonight. Elizabeth Galt, Emerson Houghton, a core group who are starting to gain that experience at an international level, that belief, learning how to deal with adversity in those key moments.
Yeah, it's a really big opportunity tonight for the New Zealand girls. It's their fourth major event of the year. They had a trip to Berlin, then the Super Finals in LA, then World Championships, and now this, which they've been building for all year, and it's a big opportunity for them tonight.
So New Zealand very much do come in as the underdogs here. But it is Australia, they will lift. And the Australians, well, very unlucky not to make the World Championship final, where they would have automatically qualified for the Olympics, and that would have immediately opened the door for New Zealand to go through as well. But they were beaten by 2 goals against Spain in that semi-final. And I know that the New Zealanders, probably for the first time in their history, were very much going for the Australian team. And we do welcome our Australian viewers in across the ditch. You are a class act. You're the reason why this New Zealand team is having more resources put into it, because you do set the standard. We just want to acknowledge Whakato Māori, formerly Māori Television, for their support of this coverage. Starting lineups tonight for New Zealand, we'll see Milicic in the 1 cap, Emily Nicholson wearing the 2 cap, Bernadette Doyle 3, Elizabeth Galt 4, Emerson Houghton in the number 7 cap, and Katie McGinty in the number 8 cap.
Big opportunity for Katie tonight, her 50th test. The starters for Australia, number 1, Gabriella Palm, Ali Ahmet, Bronte Halligan in the number 4 cap, Abby Andrews, the left-hander in 6, Zoe Arancini in her 299th game for Australia in number 9, Alice Williams, number 10, and Matilda Kearns will get the start at centre forward.
Yeah, and that is the difference. Got to shut Kearns down. Talk about her, the likes of Halligan. Very much big playmakers for this Australian team.
And a best of 3 series, Mark. This first game is really crucial for these Kiwis.
Well, often when you come up against an underdog, you've got to try and get in front early. You know, the Australians, probably against New Zealand, have never really suffered too much adversity. Get ahead of them, put them under a little pressure, see how they'll deal with it, see how they cope with it. So we are underway. International test match, women's water polo at its best. New Zealand versus Australia. Water polo's equivalent of the Bledisloe Cup. Our officials tonight, Scott Volts and Darren Spirito Santo out of California. And so immediately they go through Zoe Arancini, who plays her 299th test tonight. What a moment will we for you tomorrow to make 300 remarkable. Look for the entry pass. They look to try and turn and shoot, and immediately it comes off the upright. So good defensive start here from the New Zealanders.
Yeah, they found Tilly early, which is exactly what the Australians want to do, and I don't think Angie Stanley's going to be too happy the ball gets to centre early. But well done on the crash. Take the ball away.
So Emily Nicholson now going across to Emerson Houghton in the number 7 cap, looking for the entry pass, looking to try and make something out of nothing. And immediately they do pick up the foul, pick up the exclusion. So 6 on 5 early on here for New Zealand. Can they capitalise?
Yeah, Rachel, that's awesome.
Looking, opportunity going round. Can they find that shot? Got to be fearless here in front of goal. Lovely, but picked off. Too easily read that time by Matilda Kearns.
Good job, Emily Nicholson at centre forward to get the exclusion on Ali Ahmet for Australia, but the Kiwis will be disappointed with a poor 6-5 to start.
Yeah, can't afford to hesitate. Got to be aggressive, got to be positive. And now another exclusion for New Zealand, so 6 on 5 now for Australia. So it is Millie Quinn who picks up that exclusion. Just happy to be patient across the perimeter. Now they look for the entry pass, scoring opportunity comes, and just like that, It is the Australians who go up by 1.
Tilly Kern straight away. 2 possessions and they found her twice. Good vision from the Australians to see Tilly had that front water on the post, find the pass. Even if she'd missed there, they'd probably get penalty.
So Emerson Houghton has that responsibility of surveying her options. And let's just have a look at what are you seeing here, Hamish, in terms of the way the Australians are setting up defensively.
You can see the Australians are pretty comfortable playing a press, so they're going to be nice and tight. They're going to make the Kiwis work for every single pass, and that's going to make it opens a risk at centre back if the ball does get there, but things like that, Bronte Halligan makes a steal.
Just can't afford to be doing that at this level, New Zealand. They'll be a little bit nervous. They've got to believe, though. They do have to believe. So the Australians in control. Bring it back through Bronte Halligan.
Great save from Jessica Millicent, and you can hear the New Zealand crowd are in behind them.
Now opportunity here coming through Bernadette Doyle. She's class Doyle. She's got the left hand, has the shot. Just couldn't quite get it. But love the enterprise there from Doyle. This time deciding to take her chance, not hesitating. Looking for that lob shot. Just over the top. Now the Australians come up the right side of the pool.
So you can hear Angie Winstanley-Smith calling for a 2-3-4 zones. Those top 3 players coming back to seal off Tilly Kearns.
Yeah, got to keep Kern under control. That little backhand flick and the danger again just been shown by the quality of Kearns.
Good work from Jessica Millicent in the goal to get in the lane and make a block.
Good start here from the New Zealanders. So they'll go back through Zoe Arancini. What a player Arancini is. The danger here with the Australians is even if you go man-on-man, press high on one player, it opens the door. Turnover here. Good play from the New Zealanders. Elizabeth Galt comes away with it. Goes back to Milicic.
Great work by Emerson Houghton in the backcourt. She's earned an exclusion. Another one for the Kiwis. They'll be wanting to capitalise on this opportunity.
Yeah, need to go quickly too here, the New Zealanders. Happy to play, looking to try and draw the defenders. Another pass just picked off. They do happen to recover though, so back through Houghton. Now they look to go outside. Shot clock starts to run down. Needs to take the shot, but easily blocked again. So good play from Bernadette Doyle, but the Australian defence read it well. Again, Arancini, a player who is everywhere.
6 on 5 over.
Good enterprise here from the New Zealanders. So almost 4 minutes gone in this first quarter. Just the 1 goal to Australia. So a good start here from the New Zealanders. But look at this Australian wave just moving forward. Every single one of them can play like a centre forward. Every single one of them has the ability to pull the trigger with real velocity.
This is a good start though from the New Zealand. That's what Angie will have wanted from them, to make sure they keep it close and keep themselves in the game early.
Right, yeah.
The ball's been come out here. Waiting to see.
So 7 there for New Zealand is Emerson Houghton.
I think we have just fixing something up on the table. Just adjusting the shot clock. So I think the shot clock got reset there, so it's gone from 19 to 7 seconds.
Okay, so chance here for Australia. Shot clock pressure begins to build a little bit. Now open up on that side. Open, looks for the shot. Looks for the entry pass again. That target is Halligan. Finding it too easy at the moment. So strong, just has that ability, doesn't she? To be able to just get the arms free.
So just, I think we're back to the same technical issue. They've sort of fixed it, but not quite well enough.
Australian coach, Paul Oberman, having a chat to the officials.
It's interesting, Mark. It's 1-0 through the first 4 minutes. I think if you'd offered that to Angie at the start of the game, she probably would have taken it. Obviously would have liked to lead, but she knows you've got to keep close and work this Australian team, because you can't let them get out to a 3 or 4 goal head start.
The key right there is the number 11 is Matilda Kearns. And it's interesting to see that Katie McGinty all over her.
Big task for Katie in her 50th test tonight.
Yeah, my apologies. I think in the introductions I said Darcy Sparks. I just want to correct that and make sure that we do give the recognition to Katie McGinty for her 50 test matches.
And I make that comment about us being okay with 1-0 because of the way the New Zealanders started in Fukuoka. A couple of their bigger games, they went down early, but their second, third, fourth quarters were superb.
Yeah.
And it's just about, I think, for them making the step up and starting at that level of intensity.
And it's a nerve thing at times, it's a belief thing, and maybe you change your warm-up protocols. Why is everybody a little bit flat early? Do we need to look at things? Is it individual, is it collective? And make that mental shift.
Exactly. And for a lot of these New Zealand athletes, it's their first opportunity. A couple have played in New Zealand before, but for a lot of them, it's their first test ever at home, which is a massive opportunity for them. You know, some of them have played 30 or 40 tests for their country, but never won in their own country. So a really cool opportunity for them tonight.
Number 8 is Sophie Pontry. So they've made the change from the original starting 5, and looks like Alice Williams having a bit of a breather there in the number 10 cap. So the Australians will get play back underway down the right-hand side of the pool, looking for the entrant pass. Shot clock comes, big effort, but picked off comfortably in the finish by Jessica Milicic. So really good here from the New Zealand team. But again, great enterprise from the Australian Stingers. As they now look to try and push up this left side. They'll go through Elizabeth Galt. What does Galt do? She's got the little, she had the opportunity out there to the left, couldn't quite find it. Now Room, looking to drive forward, entry pass comes, looking for the exclusion.
Just a foul.
Just the foul. A lot happening off the ball. Again, too easily read by the Australians, and that'll be frustrating. And Lynn Stanley Smith, just a little hesitant at times in front of goal. And now driving forward for the Australians is Bronte Halligan, daughter of Kiwi and rugby league great Daryl Halligan. And again, just like that, Australia go up 2. This time, the goal coming, I think, through Shalise Andrews possibly, and the number 7 cap for Australia.
It is indeed Charlize Andrews out of the Queensland Thunder side in the Australian National League. There's a few players from the Queensland Thunder in this Australian side. I'm not sure I'd want to play them in the Aussie National League.
I think New Zealanders will be happy again, as you said, defensively. Just got to figure it out a little bit more offensively. They've had opportunities down their end, down the Australian end.
Yeah, they have. And if you look at a lot of those games that were at World Champs, you know, that the Australians were really competitive. They finished at, 11-10, 10-9. So the goals are going to come. For the Kiwis, they've just got to try and find one early.
Yeah, got to take their chance. Good defence here again by Bronte Halligan. Now, really good man-on-man defence from the Australians, and Gabriella Palm will come away with it. Get play back underway for Australia. 2 minutes 42 remaining. Australia leading New Zealand 2-0. Olympic Games qualifier live from the National Aquatic Centre on Auckland's North Shore. Hope you are enjoying the coverage. And they turn the shot again. Superb, just turns on a dime, just that little pivot, that little swivel, and a very good goal this way, going the way of Tennille Fasala.
Doing a great job there at centre, finds the pass, and you've got Caitlin Howarth on her inside shoulder there, but she still manages to find that sweep shot.
Yeah, lovely balance, beautiful pass, great athleticism, isn't it? Superb. Make it look easy, the great sides do. So New Zealand now really want to try and be the next team to score, see if they can just somehow shift the momentum. Australia equally as good on defence too, not just pressing high.
Yeah, credit to Sophie Pontry, she's doing a great job at centre back, especially in that last position. She's got Emily Nicholson with her now.
And now, again, look at this man-on-man press defence, just shutting the New Zealanders down, just putting them back on their haunches, making it difficult to operate. Who takes the shot?
We talk about it wanting our centre forwards to be at 2 metres, but you can see Sophie Pontry there. She's got Emily Nicholson out at 5 or 6 metres, and that's just killing the whole New Zealand offence.
And again, yeah, just pressing high up. And of course, missing for New Zealand, Morgan McDowell, not available. Certainly one of the best forwards internationally as well. Genuinely world class. And too easy.
That one's a bit soft.
Yeah.
That one's a bit soft. I
Just
think
like
that's a coach killer, that one.
Yeah, just hits us on the counter-attack. So, number 7, again, Charlize Andrews scoring her second. Let's go back and have a look at the replay.
Just caught behind there. Doyle just not 100% there, pressed on Charlize Andrews, which you've got to be, and she capitalises.
Yeah, fitness a key part of water polo. Tough game aerobically, tough game physically. Now, can New Zealand, what can they do here? What can they conjure up? Can they score? Looking to now drive. Looking for the entry pass, but look at the Australian defence, just parking the bus, just a wall of defenders. Just no room, the door is just not open. The shot does come, but again blocked. So, good defence coming from Bridget Leeson-Smith for the Australians.
It's really good 6-5 defence. The Kiwis have had 3 chances and Australia have shut all of them down. 2 of them with really good field blocks.
Now driving again, looking to go on her own. Does she go on her own? She does. Oh, lovely, lovely. Just uses the lob shot, takes the speed off it. Just that little pump fake, brilliant.
Alice
Just
Williams.
Put the defender in 2 minds, didn't they?
No, she did. Really works that counter-attack. You know, she's the wrong side for Alice as a right-hander, but she gets up there, works hard, gets Jess Milicic off her legs, and then just perfect little lob.
And yeah, again, just Bridget Doyle, I think Bernadette Doyle just stuck in 2 minds in terms of where she should be. Right, 30 seconds remain.
Another extra man opportunity for New Zealand.
So, got 6 on 5. Can they score here? Somebody needs to take this one. Somebody needs to back their ability to shoot. And again, the shot clock's going to run down. Another opportunity. Just too much pressure here from the Australians. Time. Again, more of a zone type defence. Having that ability to change it up. And again, player open. And that will bring the first quarter to an end. And it is Australia who lead by 5 goals to 0 in the first 8 minutes, the first quarter of this game. So it started so promisingly through the first 4 minutes. Just got away from this New Zealand team in the second 4 minutes. Hamish McDonald, what will Angie Winstanley-Smith, the New Zealand coach, be saying to her charges?
I think there's 3 key messages from Angie. The first one is we've got to make sure we stop the soft goals, and the ball's getting to centre forward too often. You know, we spoke pre-match about Matilda Kearns, and then Tennille Fasala's come and done a great job as well. They're getting way too much good ball and good service, and they're playing a zone. They've got to cut that out. Second one is their 6-5. They've had 4 really good. They've earned the exclusions that they require to stay in this match, but only one of them is actually none of them have actually made Gabby Palm make a block and goal. They haven't got the ball to the goalie, and they've really got to try and fix that 6-5.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like somebody just needs to take this. They've got to take some chances, got to maybe look to shoot maybe a little earlier. Let's go inside the Australian camp. I mean, hard to criticise this Australian team through the first 8 minutes, but Paul Oberman, they're Australians, they'll be looking for perfection. What will he be liking? What won't he be liking?
I think Paul Oberman's really happy. I think especially with his defence. He's obviously conceded a couple of exclusions, but they're doing such a good job on that press, and we saw that before. We mentioned it with Sophie Contry doing a great job on Emily Nicholson. So we've just got to make sure they keep doing that and keep working that offence, because those goals are going to come. When you play such good defence and such a high press, it makes your attack so much easier.
Yeah, the thing too is, I guess one of the dangers for Australia, and they'll be aware of it too, you get up 5-0, very easy to start losing your shape a little bit, individuals start to take over, and I'd imagine that's what the Australian coaching team would want. Let's keep to the plan, let's keep to the structure, let's make this a habit. Yes, we might be up by 5.
Oh, I think so, and look, I think the prize that comes with winning this series is enough to keep, you know, these athletes' minds on the job.
Yeah, it could have been so different. Australia narrowly, as we mentioned, if you've just joined the commentary, Australia very close to making that World Championship final, and if they had have done that, they would have qualified automatically as the top 2 teams, which would have left the door open in Oceania for New Zealand, but that wasn't the case. And so New Zealand, well, while they're a good international side, there is clearly a gap between them and Australia, and looking to try and just see how wide that gap is.
Yeah, first goal crucial here for the Kiwis. They've got to try and get back in this game and sort of first goal and make a little dent into this momentum. And if they can do that, they showed in the second half in their games at World Champs they can be really competitive with these top nations.
So Gabby McDonald on for the New Zealanders. Come across. So the Australians, great skills. Cannot underestimate just how tough this sport is. People new to the game of water polo, incredibly physical, but also the aerobic side of it. The egg beater kick, the power that's required to get high, to get the hips out of the water at times, particularly in that shooting situation. Heart rate's through the roof. As I like to say, you're breathing razor blades.
Yeah, exactly. The New Zealanders are doing a really good job here in transition, working hard, and as I say that, they've created an exclusion, Ponty Halligan.
So, just remember 3 exclusions and you are in the naughty chair permanently for the game. So they'll be mindful of that too. So Te Reo, or Māori, if you are watching in Australia, exclusion is Otaki. Okati, I should say.
A bit of 6-5 there from the Australians. Sorry, from the New Zealanders.
Now bringing that up is Alice Williams. So, Williams, lovely entry pass again, looking for Kearns. And now the chance does come this time. Hits the upright Kearns though. Yeah, referee says no.
So exclusion against Katie McKenty. Quick, hits the post, but Tilly Kearns right there to clean up the rebound and put it home. 6-0.
Just like that. Initially there I thought it had gone the other way. Yeah, you can just sort of see there Emerson Houghton in the number 7 cap just coming back. Cheeks are flushed, just how hard she is working to try and shut this team down.
Emily Nicholson's doing a good job here, getting good position.
Oh, entry pass. Oh, backhand, good. Boy, that would have been box office crowd loving that. That was the opportunity to maybe try and shift that momentum, spark this New Zealand team. I do say it, ladies and gentlemen, don't blink, because they can shoot from anywhere in this sport. And so Australia retain possession. And another big shot, just a cannon. And what is the referee rule on that? They've called it a goal, have they?
They've called it a goal.
So number 7 for Australia. They lead 7-0. 6 minutes to go in this second period. Just have a look at the replay here. Can't have been a lot in it. Just a cannon. Yeah, clearly crosses that line. Interesting too, isn't it? Just looking one way and just shooting in a different direction. A real combination in the sport between, say, basketball and football. There's the real art of illusion. There's a key component to this. And certainly in terms of exclusions or Aukati, a little bit of Hollywood and a little bit of theatre. Oh, a chance now for the New Zealanders. Does it sneak in? No, it doesn't. Desperation stuff. This time Alice Williams to the rescue for Australia. So more enterprising from the Kiwis.
They're getting more out of their centre forwards this quarter, the Kiwis. You know, Emily Nicholson got that backhand away before, and Sophie Shorter almost scores there.
Now looking to drive forward. Coming through Williams again. Push it out wide. Come back through Zoe Arancini. Another big shot. This time, no, not effective. Australians, that is the danger. They can shoot from anywhere. They can pull the trigger with just terminal velocity.
That's Abby Andrews, absolute great shooter of the water polo ball. Plays for the Ciceroma club in Italy, and it was a really key part of that Australian side that went to fourth at the World Championships.
So Bernadette Doyle, a rock star in this New Zealand team. They just don't get that regular competition against a defence like this that Australia are putting up tonight. And so timeout has been called.
Shot clock violation, I think that one was.
Okay, my apologies. And now, Bronte Halligan looking to come forward for the Australians. Lays it off to a right-hand side, another big shot, great save from Jessica Milicic. Good goalkeeping, just came off the line, shut the door, shut the angle down. The Australians just shooting at will now. That's what we talked about. There is a danger the Australians just start to lose their shape a little bit. Still need to be patient. They're looking, turning. There's the exclusion. So Alice Williams goes into the naughty chair for 20 seconds. 6 on 5 here to the Kiwis. Just don't look confident, do they, on attack at the moment? Just look hesitant.
They can look for those posts too, you know, that position there. Caitlin Howard had number 11 for New Zealand, had quite a bit of room on that post, and they sort of moving the ball without a lot of movement on the top, but those posts are getting wide open at times.
Okay, so it goes the other way. So another off-the-ball infringement, this way in favour of New Zealand. What can they do? What can they conjure up? They go through Emerson Houghton.
They've just got to get this offence further forward. You can see here Emerson's on halfway, Libby Galt's on halfway, which makes life really difficult to try and score past a goalie like Gabriella Palm from there.
So key thing here for New Zealand, trying to keep the crowd on this as well. It's a good crowd in tonight, around about 500 people at this National Aquatic Centre. It is a sellout tomorrow night for game 2. Now, got to be careful. Another good pass here from the Australians. Another entry pass. Then they just absolutely work Kearns over this time. 3 on it, such as the danger she possesses. And now another big shot wide. So better defence here from New Zealand now.
Yeah, they set this defence up in the second quarter. 2 goals conceded, and much more in line with what they would have been trying to do pre-game. But the key for them's got to be this offence.
Got to start scoring. Got to take their opportunities. Now we see Emily Nicholson back into play, looking to drive forward in that centre forward position. But another wayward pass. Just too easy at the moment. And now they look to try and go long. They do. And they've got a break opportunity here. Do we see another little lob shot? We do. Just over the top. This time not effective. So it's very successful. Around about just towards the end of the first quarter with that shot. This time Milicic manages to come away with it. And now back through Bernadette Doyle.
They're just doing such a great job, this Australian team, defensively. They've just got the Kiwis rattled.
Oh, shot over the top too. Lovely piece of keeping though from Gabriella Palm, one of the best in the world.
It's easy for us to say, sort of, you know, criticise the New Zealanders here or there, but this Australian team have really shown up tonight and are really here to try and book their place in Paris.
Narrowly missing out on making that final at the World Championships, just to show the class.
They've proven tonight why they were in the top 4 in the world at the World Championships.
Oh, another shot, this time wide. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? When you travel to Australia, you just look at the facilities they have. They've got pools every 10 kilometres right around the coast. You've got a climate that's so conducive. You know, most of the Australians grow up swimming to some degree, surf life saving. It leads into water polo. Got a much bigger population, more resource. The other team goes to the Olympics, is successful. It creates that succession plan, and the momentum just continues.
It does, and that's why a series like this is so important for us. It's the first time, I think, since 2004 that we've actually had this series and challenged Australia for the spot. And if we want to get to that level, or New Zealand want to get to that level, that's what we've got to do.
Yeah, you've got to see what it is, isn't it? You know, like I say, always lift. Chance here, another pass. Oh, just everywhere the Australians at the moment. Oh, lovely entry pass. Lovely little pump fake. And the Australians will come away with it, and it is an exclusion, so 6 on 5. And it was Emily Nicholson.
So exclusion called against Emily, and Paul Oberman, after pleading his case for a penalty, which he probably had a strong argument, he's taken a timeout.
So referees do come out of the United States, both from California. And we've got Scott Volts and Darren Spirito Santo. Just a charge here. So very animated Angie Winstanley-Smith. And we mentioned she'll be happy with the defensive effort in this quarter.
Much better, but you can hear, we can hear her just from our commentary position here, and she is screaming about the offence, and that's the key. If you want to win a game like this, I think still having nil on the scoreboard with 44 seconds to go in the first half is the key concern.
Yeah, it's fascinating that the Women's Football World Cup on at the moment in this country, and you watch, isn't it? It's almost an instinctive behaviour where, I don't know, we're all guilty of it. Just want that one more touch or just that little hesitation. And the great players just seem to have more time and take those opportunities.
They have been quite patient tonight, the New Zealanders, but maybe once or twice you could argue slightly too patient when the shot's been there.
Now look at the Australians here, just options to burn. They do love going down that right side. Now they switch play across to the far side, looking for the entry pass. Now the big cannon of a shot. No, it'll come from that side, and it goes in. And that is the 8th for the Australians, just like that. We talked about the dangers, and that is the difference. They just have that ability offensively to shoot from anywhere, right across the board. New Zealand, well, at the moment, no one's really taking it by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, it's exceptional. Bronte Halligan in the middle there on the extra man. Gets it, two big fakes, little pop pass to Abby Andrews, who we said before is an exceptional shooter, and she hammers it home. Another key difference, that 6'5" there, that's something that we haven't seen from New Zealanders tonight when they've had their chances on extra women, to score those chances.
Certainly missing Morgan McDowell, who has been such a strong forward for New Zealand, has been very much a target, very much the way that we've seen the Australians use Matilda Kearns. Well, McDowell offers that, but unavailable for selection. Come back across. Oh, another thing, but just picked off again. It's just almost an action replay, isn't it, as we come to half-time. And it is Australia leading by 7-0 at the moment. And so plenty of discussion, plenty of work to be done by this New Zealand team, led by Angie Winstanley-Smith, assistant coach Megan Thompson and Dylan Smith. I think that quarter they did as much as they could defensively, and as we've discussed through that last 8 minutes, what do they do? How do they change the way they're setting things up offensively here in New Zealand?
It's a much better quarter from the New Zealanders. Like the last goal that the Australians score in the 6-5, absolutely acceptable. You're happy to concede those in a test match like this. That was great work from the Australians. I think potentially some variety in the offense is a key one for the Kiwis, because at the moment they're playing a lot for Emily Nicholson and Sophie Short at the centre, who are both exceptional centre forwards in their own right, and Emily was one of the highest exclusion earners at the World Championships. But the Australian centre backs are doing a great job in their press, and it's making life really difficult. So maybe it's a little bit more driving, a little bit more dynamic movement from the Kiwis, and that creates a few different opportunities. I think 6-5 again, as we spoke about at the end of the first. A big one for the Kiwis. They've just got to make sure they start taking some of those opportunities. The Australians have had 8 chances on 6-5. They haven't scored any. At the international level, you want to be scoring in the realm of 60 to 70%.
It's interesting, isn't it? Just looking at the two teams when they're warming up, and you look at the physical stature of the sides. There's not a lot in it. It's not like the Australians have got, you know, absolute, what's the politest way of saying it? They're not like they're super tall and bigger and much stronger than the New Zealand girls. It just simply, they just look like they're slightly fitter, and they've just got, you know, just a little bit more cohesion, and players that perhaps are just a little bit more multi-dimensional.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's the intensity across the pool too. Like, it's nothing to do with effort. It's just that their ability to go and their level, the intensity they can work at, is just a step above the Kiwis right now.
Well, there will be the second test, of course, that is set to go Saturday night, New Zealand time at 6 o'clock. I hope you are enjoying the coverage across Australia, wherever you are. Just want to acknowledge Whakata Māori and Māori Television for their support and sponsorship of this live stream and broadcast. Te reo, or the Māori language, a big part of New Zealand culture and society these days.
So as the teams get set, if we look, looks like Genevieve Longman is getting in for the Australians, so she'll replace Gabriella Palm in goal.
That's the ability, isn't it, when you're up by 7 or 8 goals, you can use your wider squad, give them all international experience, put them in some pressure situations, see how they cope. We often talk about it, individuals will win your games, but a squad will win you a championship. As we now look at this very impressive Australian, there is Pascali Casey in the number 2 cap for Australia, so she's in as well. Alongside of her, number 8 there is Sophie Pontre. But the ball goes into the hands of Bronte Halligan. Sophie Pontre.
Plays for the University of Michigan in the NC2A competition in the States. One of her teammates, Izzy Jackson, is a reserve for the New Zealand side tonight. Not on the pool, but down on pool deck.
And another goal, this time again from distance, just too easy. And so this New Zealand team.
Such an exceptional shot by Bronte Halligan. Watch the way she moves the ball as it comes up on the replay. It's such a dynamic fake, moves it and bang.
Yeah, just that balance, and you cannot underestimate the skill set, the energy required underneath the water to be able to do that, to be able to balance, to be able to use that kick to
such an impressive
get
goal.
that height, to be able to get that rotation. And again, New Zealand at the other end, well, they just keep putting themselves in that position. They just can't find any answers at the moment. At the time, Emily Nicholson shut down on the number 2 cap. Bringing it forward now for Australia, Bronte Halligan. Of course, father Daryl Halligan, good rugby player initially for Hamilton, Waikato, and then taking up rugby league, and Kennedy Bankstown Bulldog player, an icon, a legend in that club. He's also playing for the Kiwis. Oh, another good save, and this time from Genevieve Longman, the new goalkeeper for the Australians. Interesting, is it? What is it with rugby players and their daughters playing water polo? Phil Kearns' daughters there, and you've got, normally for New Zealand, Morgan McDowell, father Steve McDowell, one of the great All Black forwards, won a World Cup in 1987.
Pretty tough sport, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, another one. Door is open this time, and you just look at Jessica Milicic. You can sense the frustration there. You just wonder whether New Zealand need to take a time out here.
Yeah, it's a great goal from Abby Andrews. Just notices that her block is slightly out of position, and bang, finds it down the lane. Jess will be trusting Libby Galt, her blocker there, and when she gets slightly out of position, someone like Abby Andrews is too good and finds the goal.
Yeah, just look at that too. It's just that ability, that pump fake, isn't it? And the power that they have on their shots, both left-handed, right-handed. They just have that ability to pull the trigger with real velocity. But it's the art of disguise. I keep talking about it. It's an ability with that pump fake, that ability to...
It's the quick release the Australians have too. They fake the ball, and then there's just the ability to use their wrist and get the ball with so much velocity with so little movement like that.
Yeah. And they just do it with zero hesitation. Now New Zealand looking to try and score, but picked off too easy. So looking to play with a bit more enterprise, well read by the Australian defenders. And so Genevieve Longman will get things back underway. And they look to go down the right-hand side of the pool. And it is Abby Andrew, who marked heavily there by Darcy Spark. It's not like New Zealand have, New Zealand have come off the World Championships themselves, so they've come off with international quality competition. It's not like they don't come in match fit.
No, it's
so they understand the intensity. They've come up against some very good of the European teams.
Absolutely, their game with the Italians was who knocked out the 3-time, 4-time defending champions of the USA was 14-7. So it was there or thereabouts, so they are there or thereabouts. But I think tonight's just been, as Australians have come in with an intensity to step up and trying to book their ticket to Paris.
Yeah, you just don't know with the Australians, will it be there yet? I think they won gold back in 2000, I think the Australian won it.
They did indeed, the first ever Olympics for women's water polo. The men had been there previously, but the first one at home in Sydney.
This famous game, I think it was blood in the water, wasn't it? 1956, Hungary, Russia. When the two teams left the pool was blood red.
Oldest team sport at the Olympics, actually.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? At every level, there's always that one game or that one moment which seems to be iconic for all the right or wrong reasons.
Exactly. Infamous. Timeout for Angie Winstanley-Smith and the New Zealanders.
So 10-0, 4:22 to go in the third quarter. And a lot of work to be done by the New Zealanders. They'll want to salvage. They'll just want to, even if they can just have a period of 2-3 minutes where they can get a momentum swing and show themselves that they can do it, that they are capable.
I think that's the thing. Tonight's gone. I don't think there's much of a chance for them tonight now. But this is a 3-test series, and all they have to do is win 2-1. It doesn't matter what the score is in the first game. If you can win the next two, you're going to Paris. So for them, they've got to use this third and fourth quarter now to try and fix a few things and get ready for another chance at it tomorrow.
And I think that's the key thing. Coaches just want to say, right, this is what we did. Let's take this on board. Let's make the technical shift, or let's make the mental shift. Let's see the improvement. Let's see if we can right the wrongs. Let's see if we've got the ability from our players to do that. And so it'll be a big opportunity tomorrow night.
A 6-5 opportunity here for New Zealand, and we've spoken about this a few times tonight. This is one of the key ones that they've got to try and create a goal here and fix this 6-5.
Got to take their opportunities. Just too much hesitation here. No one really wanting to take the game. Shot opportunity comes, but this time gets up nice and high as Genevieve Longman.
Great save.
But better enterprise there from New Zealand. Australian team, they're all class, they're all quality. Like so many Australian teams, never write the Aussies off in anything. Hurts me to say it as a Kiwi, but I always say I think Australia best all-round sporting nation on the planet. When you look at the sports they dominate for the size of their population, while it's considerably larger than New Zealand's, it's still relatively small compared to a lot of other countries.
That's going to be another key work on. Alice Williams does a great job there, gets inside and earns a penalty, first one of the night. But just the ability of the Australians to get on the inside of the New Zealanders' goal side and create these easier chances has been a key for them tonight.
So let's have a look how Jessica Milicic deals with this. She looked to go across one side and that's it. And that easy. And as it should be, Australia now move out to 11-0 over New Zealand with 3:45 remaining in the third quarter. Just for people watching water polo for the first time, in regards to the penalties, is it a designated penalty taker, or is it the player that is ultimately the one who's fouled that needs to take it?
No, look, that's usually a forbidden for me when I'm coaching. You don't want a player who's just got their heart rate elevated in that extra little spike to take the penalty. You've usually got 4 or 5 players in your team who you trust with your penalties, but most of the team can often take them.
Oh, good physical play, but once again the Australians come away with it through Bronte Halligan.
Press has just been so impressive from the
Drive forward,
Australians.
and she just continues to drive. At what point do you see Millie Quinn turn? Now Millie Quinn. This time the Australians wasting no time. I imagine that might have just been a little bit frustrating for the Australian coach, Paul Oberman.
Been a clinic defensively from this Australian side.
As you mentioned, this is great, isn't it? The more New Zealand can play Australia, the more they... Oh, there we go, and now New Zealand do get themselves on the scoreboard, and that comes through Bernadette Doyle. Who else? Finally, New Zealand, the crowd absolutely loving it here at the National Aquatic Centre. The roof lifts off. Better here. Great interplay here from Gabby Milicic. Finds New Zealand's Bernadette Doyle. And finally, New Zealand get themselves on the score sheet, 11-1.
Great work to create the exclusion. It's Alice Williams' third foul, so she'll take no further part tonight. But and then a great finish from Bernadette Doyle.
So Hamish McDonald, one of New Zealand's rising coaches, and bringing you all the expert comments. And now New Zealand pick up the exclusion, or Aukati as they say in Te Reo. And it's Caitlin Howarth who will find herself in the naughty chair. And so 6-on-5 for the Australians. And watch the way they capitalise here. Look at that left-hand shooting. Again, that little pump fake. Now the little lob shot. Oh, superb water polo. Brilliant reading. Lovely execution. All class, all quality. And you just see Emerson Houghton there in the number 7 cap doing everything she could defensively, but just left that door slightly ajar. And once again, it is that player, Matilda Kearns.
Just the quality of the ball movement from the Australians is exceptional. All the way down to Abby Andrews there. Abby Andrews across. I think it was Bronte Halligan, and finds Tilly Kearns on the pass. That's been a key difference. that ball movement on that 6-5, you find Tilly wide open on the post, where the Kiwis have struggled with their extra player opportunities tonight.
Oh, another shot this time. Good block. Well picked up by Jessica Milicic. This time reading it well. Another opportunity here for the Kiwis. With a minute 40 remaining in this third period. Try and make it 12-2. Oh, has a shot herself. Like the Enterprise, had no real options, such as the defence of this Australian team.
That'll be the shining light for the New Zealanders tonight. It's been their transition. They've earned quite a few exclusions as they go from defence to offence. And that's been they've done a great job there tonight and created a lot of chances. It's just been the finishing of those chances that's let them down.
Again, this time, I think Milicic probably felt she could.
So I think there's been a turnover foul on the 2-metre line there. So no goal.
Count, no goal. Apologies. I was going to say Jessica Milicic, I can imagine, will be disappointed by that effort, but clearly there was a reason for it. Now, what does Milicic do? Does she come off her line? No, just going to go over the top with a little lob, aren't they? Too easy, too good. And out Kearns, without doubt, one of the best players on the planet. He sense would walk into any international side in the world, such as her quality, such as her class.
Finalist for the Kotahino Award this year, Tilly, one of the best players in NCAA, but just they find the exclusion and then she's just wide open, but great composure under pressure to finish that ball as well. Even if she'd missed there under the new rules, they can now play advantage, the referees, but they get attacked from behind like that. So even if she'd missed there, it would have been penalty. Yeah.
So it used to be able to take that player from behind and knock any part of it. Now you've got to only be able to knock the ball, or the penalty will be called if you're inside that particular area of the pool. Just see how physical it is too. There's a reason why they don't have cameras underneath the water. Might turn a few people off, but it's part of the game. I think a lot of the girls particularly will often wear 2 bathing suits. But you learn from a young age just how gladiatorial it is.
Very, really physical. Tonight hasn't been too bad, but it's certainly been a couple of moments where it's been pretty tough.
So good defence there from the New Zealanders, gaining that turnover. And now we'll bring the third period to a close. And it's Australia who lead by 13 goals to 1. Yeah, the more the New Zealand team can get the international competition, can play these sides, again, you get that benchmark, don't you? I often use that analogy. If you've got 3 swim lanes and the fastest swimmer in the fastest lane, let's just say swims 5 minutes for 400 metres, okay, just as an example. Everybody's going to push to 5 minutes. Yeah. You get somebody that comes in and swims 4:45. The guy that's swimming 5 minutes starts pushing towards 4:45 and everyone else starts to follow. You know, no one thinks you can run a sub 4-minute mile. We get Roger Bannister does it, then I think about 8 weeks later Australian John Landy does it, and then everybody starts to run the sub 4-minute mile, and that's the key thing here for New Zealand, isn't it? Yeah, expose yourself international competition, start to see what that benchmark is. You know, you might have spent your early career regularly pushing your snooze button in the morning. You suddenly realise I can't give up 70 minutes a week or 10 minutes a day. And they're just those little things, individually and collectively, that begin to change, and you begin to adapt. You start to realise the pace in which the game is played at.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing for the New Zealanders. It's the step to this level. They went to Berlin earlier in the year for the World Aquatics Division 2 tournament, and they did a really good job. They beat all the teams ranked below them, you know, where they're ranked 11th to 12th in the world, and they did it comfortably. But the key for them now is their ability to go from beating those teams that are clearly worse, you know, or ranked lower than them, to going to being more competitive with teams like Australia, Italy, Hungary, Spain, the Netherlands, those top 6 or 7 teams in the world that, if they do get a ticket, you know, either through this series or through Doha World Championships next year to Paris, the teams they'd face at the Olympic Games. Yeah.
Because I think for the New Zealand team too, they're even looking to Brisbane 232, aren't they? Australia being the host nation at those Olympics, a real opportunity for New Zealand. But I think like a lot of New Zealand teams, it's not just about wanting to get to the Olympics. You want to get to the Olympics, you want to perform with distinction, you want to turn up, you want to be competitive.
You don't want to go all the way to the Olympic Games to make up the numbers.
No,
so
you
don't want to be competitive.
No, you don't.
Important to note, so obviously the winner of this series qualifies directly. The Spanish and the Netherlands have already qualified for Paris through making the World Championship final, and along with the host France. So then there's going to be continental series across all of the nations, the European Championships, the Asian Championships.
And I think there's 2 spots up for grabs after that.
And then there is. So after all of the continental tournaments are said and done, it's the top 2 teams who haven't already qualified at the Doha World Championships in January next year.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenges facing water polo in New Zealand, if you are listening to this in Australia, is just pool space. It's a big issue in this country. Just don't have the population and scale, and very hard to get quality facilities, and you're sharing it with swimmers and triathletes and all the other sort of aquatic based sports. And certainly having spent time in Australia, as we see the Australians once again trying to add another one to it, but this time shut down nicely in the finish by Jessica Milicic and Caitlin Howarth.
Exceptional turn from Tilly Kearns there. She's just unlucky that Jess is right on top of her. But good work from Jess to be mobile and active on her line, to jump out and steal the ball.
Oh, great backhand flick. Great opportunity. That would have been box office. Really good from Emily Nicholson. Crowd loving that. Great enterprise. And we need to see more of it from the New Zealanders.
Credit to Genevieve Longman tonight. She's come in at half-time and done a really good job in the second half, and you sort of haven't noticed a difference tonight between her or Gabriella Palm.
Yeah, Katie McGinty and her 50th game. Doing a nice job there in the middle of the pool. Now McGinty needs to get on it. Does get on it. Shot again saved by Milicic. So another good start to this quarter by the New Zealanders. And they look to break up the right-hand side. Now look to try and drive forward through McGinty. Goes across, big shot comes, does it, little pump fake, looks for the entry pass, doesn't quite work. Millie Quinn trying to show enterprise, intended receiver was Emily Nicholson.
It's turned over. They deemed that she was the one doing the holding there.
Just must get on Kearns, and in doing so they open it up to Zoe Arancini out here on the right hand side in the number 9 camp. Another entry pass, too easy. And just like that, the Australians at another one once again through Kearns.
That's an unbelievable goal. Watch the movement here as we come to the replay of Matilda Kearns. She goes that side, strokes around, swims to the inside, catches the ball in the hand, and bang, finish.
It's interesting, and don't mind using a rugby analogy here because she clearly is the daughter of Australian great Phil Kearns, but the great New Zealand All Black fullback Christian Cullen. You talk to players that played with Christian Cullen, they said you knew it was coming, but you didn't know how to stop it, i.e. the sidestep and the swerve. And it's not dissimilar here, is it, with Kearns? You know how good she is. Doesn't matter what you do to try and shut her down. You can't.
No.
She still gets the job done. She is that good. She is just X factor.
Speaking to a few of the New Zealand girls earlier in the week, I know they were preparing for her because they saw how good she was at World Champs, but you know, she's done a brilliant job tonight anyway.
Yeah, now draw the exclusion. So 6 on 5 here. Nice work done by Emily Nicholson in the number 2 cap. What can they conjure up, the New Zealanders? Oh, big leaf hit, just wide though. Plenty of velocity on that from Emerson Houghton. Yeah, sometimes, isn't it? It's just that X factor, isn't it? It's like, yeah, we know it's coming, but how do we stop it?
Yeah, absolutely. The 6-5's improved from the New Zealanders. They've created more shots and got the ball, you know, closer towards the goal, but it's still just getting it on target now, I think.
Oh, backhand, brilliant. Box office every day of the week. Wow, what a player, Matilda Kearns. Absolutely brilliant. Superb from the Australians.
Bang, great ball movement. Abby Andrews, patient with the ball, waits for the pass, and bang.
Yeah,
too easy.
Just love it. The crowd love it. I mean, they sort of love it. They'd love it if it was the Kiwis, but you've got to admire that. It's wonderful athleticism. And I always say this, if you're watching a sport like this, take a ball, get in a pool that you can't touch the bottom of and try what these athletes are doing, and you get a much greater appreciation of just how world-class they are, just how skilled they are.
Yeah, nonetheless, you know, the kids in the crowd here tonight, you know.
Oh, a chance here for the Kiwis, can they? Oh, up the upright. They've drawn the penalty, though. So a chance here now for New Zealand.
Great work.
Shot coming. Stepping forward now will be Emerson Houghton.
Credit to Darcy Spark there. We talked about it, getting on the inside and moving more. She's done exactly that, earned the penalty.
Now, Genevieve Longman. Can New Zealand score here? Lift the roof off the National Aquatic Centre. Haven't been at their best tonight. Looking for a strong finish, and it is blocked by Longman. No surprises there. Now, this is Australia. They've just got depth. They've just got quality. Nothing wrong with the penalty shot. Just brilliant goalkeeping.
I think that sums up the evening.
Oh, and this time bounces off, and New Zealand come away with it. Can they go on the counter? Nice play here. Looking to slow things back down. And they go through Milicic. Milicic goes up the right-hand side of the pool. Driving now up through Bernadette Doyle. Does she go on her own, Doyle? Why not? Quality player, needs the quick entry pass, finds it. Shot comes from a distance and does score. This time the door was open. That is better play from the New Zealanders. Less hesitation, a lot more authority. Elizabeth Gold, well done to her, 15-2.
Much better from the Kiwis. They find the ball down the right-hand side. And Libby Gold walks into space, bang, off the hand, near side. Happy days.
Big shout out to Brad Hudson in Wellington, who's been on social media.
Sister Kirsten played about 140, 150 tests for New Zealand in women's water polo.
Yep, and it's been a comments role and down there in Wellington, and has his own podcast, so big shout out to Brad. Oh, again, another one for the highlights reel if it had gone in, but referees.
I know Jess Millis has saved that.
Corner, so it will be Abby Andrew. I always try and explain to people new to water polo, it's a real combination of basketball and football, isn't it, really? It's similar sort of positions to soccer or football, but there's a lot of basketball about it too.
Absolutely.
Except you can't be quite as physical in basketball as you can be in this sport. Oh, lovely entry pass again, and draws the exclusion, or draws the penalty. We'll have to wait for it.
Exclusion.
The exclusion, so 6-on-5 here to the Australians, waste no time, and just like that, make it 16-2. New Zealanders might have preferred the penalty. But the Australians just too quick, too smart, too fit.
Just exceptional. Great work on the 6-5, and then 2-on-1, Zoe Arancini in her 299th match for Australia. Isn't going to miss from there.
Big opportunity tomorrow night for her to play her 300th. Not many players in any sport play 300 games for their country. Some sports certainly play more games. Hockey's another one where you can rack up a high number of appearances, but it is a remarkable achievement for Arancini. Now the New Zealanders, entry pass, going back, can't quite get that cohesion. The intent was right. And so Millie Quinn, shot clock pressure now coming on the Kiwis. Big shot, and they do score. Wow. Pulls the trigger for some distance, and that is brilliant from Caitlin Howarth. Then 16-3 to score. So the New Zealanders showing what they are capable of.
What a great shot from Caitlin Howarth from way downtown.
That was from miles out. And just Genevieve Longman, I think just the distance, just off balance slightly, and it was enough. 3 minutes 10 remain.
She's got a hand to it, but credit to Caitlin there from a long, long way away. Perfectly in the top corner.
Plenty of work for the New Zealanders over the next 24 hours. A lot of thinking. They will be better for the experience. They've got a good read now on what this Australian team do offensively and defensively. You can watch them all you want at the World Championships, but until you play them, another chance here for the Kiwis. Try to draw the exclusion. Foul called though, so not the exclusion. So still 6-on-6. Another big shot from nowhere. This time hits the upright.
Been much better this quarter from New Zealanders. Emily Nicholson's there, probably unlucky, not to get a penalty. Gets very close to earning one.
Yeah, you sort of feel like New Zealanders have adjusted to the pace of the game now. It's taken them some time, but they have adjusted to the pace of the game. The way in which the Australians play, the physicality they're bringing to it. The thing is, they need to be able to, as you mentioned, be able to do it in that first quarter tomorrow. Can't take this long to adapt.
That's the key.
Oh, another one for the Australians, and just like that, they start to make it look easy. The great sides do, though. They just seem to have a little bit more time. We have a look at the replay here.
Yeah, absolutely, that's great work. Taniela Fasala works, bang, waits for the referee's call, doesn't get it, so just plays on. So we call a rollout on her legs, bang.
Yeah, another quality player, isn't she, Taniela Fasala? Another experienced campaigner. Talk about experience, but you've got to have that combination also with a little bit of youthful exuberance. Australia just have that balance right. New Zealand team. Again through Katie McGinty. Goes down, Emily Nicholson. But worked over. Good aggressive defence from Bronte Halligan. They look to switch play. New Zealanders. Opportunity. Can't find entry pass. Needed to just be able to turn on a swivel. The intended target, Emily Nicholson. The intent was right, but just again, too much pressure being put on by this very good Australian defence. That time through Ali Ahmed.
Too many of these passes to Emily tonight. She's got position, but they've been on the hand. And so we say that they actually hit Emily right on the hand rather than being on the water where she can play with it how she wants to.
Oh, shot. Almost sends Milicic the other way, but she manages to pick it off. Time running down here for the New Zealanders. Been an absolutely dominating performance from the Australians.
Extra play opportunity for New Zealanders, probably the last one of the match. Bronte Halligan excluded.
It might be here tonight, Bronte Halligan. I'll have to check the number of exclusions. Another shot, just wide though. Better from New Zealand in that 6-on-5 situation. Again, Bernadette Doyle looking to try and take control, but the Australians will go long. Can they counter? Can they hit us one more time? Lead 17-3 to take this first test match one step closer to a place in Paris next year.
It's been a clinic tonight. I think Paul Overman will be a very, very happy coach tonight. I know the job's not done and they've got one to go. But
and there it is. It is Australia who win the first test, 17-3 at the National Aquatic Centre here on Auckland's North Shore. A dominating display. Too big, too strong, too powerful, too fast, too fit. I've ran out of superlatives.
No, you're right. An absolute clinic. They've done a brilliant job tonight, Australia. They came here tonight to put one foot, on the plane to Paris, and they've done exactly that. New Zealand had no answer for them through the first three quarters. An improved performance in the fourth, but a lot of work to be done ahead of tomorrow night.
Yeah, and let's talk about that. So they will go through a bit of a debrief. They will go through some stuff tomorrow. I mean, I don't think anybody's expecting them to win the second test, but I think everyone's expecting a much improved performance. What are those key areas?
Yeah, I think the key one for the Kiwis is the 6-5. If we look on the board up there, which obviously you can't see on your screen, sorry, but Australia, they were excluded 15 or 16 times tonight. If we want 60 or 70, 70% is what we're after.
Well, when it's all said and done, it is congratulations to Australia running out dominant winners over New Zealand here at the National Aquatic Centre. Congratulations to them. They take the first test. Don't forget though, folks, join us tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, for the second test between New Zealand and Australia.